No, I think it's good. I think it's good because in years past, we've really given people who've had the nicest facial hair. And I wouldn't say Butcher has the nicest facial hair, but his facial hair is fucking for real.
Yeah, and it works so well with his character. You know, I harken back to, I guess, maybe Marty Skrull, where it's like, and his was very proper, where this is very rugged, but it worked well with his character, the villain, the European. You know, he had the umbrella and the mask and the steampunk, and it fit his character. Well, this with the Butcher, this you could see him. You know, you feel like you could walk into a small mom and pop butcher shop and see him in the back just hacking legs off a lamb.
Yeah. And I like the fact that his whole aesthetic ages him a good 10, 15 years older than he actually is. But it works in the best way possible. And I got to give the Butcher a whole lot of credit because he's cut a fair amount of weight since joining AEW. He is looking cut. He's going to be in a place very soon where he's got a top of the line star body. And that's what every wrestler wants to have. I tell you, he's going to beat Evil Uno there. Yes, yes. No, I love me some Butcher. I love me some facial hair. I love me some excessive drinking. Which brings us into our next award, Fat Mac. It is the Slosh Award. This goes to our favorite drunk or high wrestler of the year. And Fat Mac, this one's for you. This year, the Slosh Award goes to Session Moth Martina. Yes. If Fat Mac was here at the moment, he'd be able to give you a little bit more indulgences into the background of Session Moth Martina. And I would assume he'll be back very soon.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize I was on mute.
Oh, shit.
No wonder I was like, he's stepping all over my lawn. I'm talking, and he's stepping on me.
I'm not.
Sorry, buddy.
You were stepping on me with your silence.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize the thing went on mute.
Silence.
As soon as you said Fat Mac was here, I was like, what? Oh, that's a great way to start off the brand new 2021, baby. You got to throw in a few of them technical difficulties that we're famous for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what better person? I mean, Session Martina Moth, she comes to the ring drinking beer. She's drunk in the ring. Half the time she passes out before her opponent even gets to the ring or before the ring bell chimes. You toss her a beer, crack one open, put a little down her throat. She pops up. She's ready for the fucking match. I mean, this is the kind of person that that this award was created for. You know, in the past we've had to kind of stretch what we consider the Slosh Award and more behind the scenes drinking, people that are known outside of wrestling for drinking. But man, this is one of the few characters in 2020 that was built around being drunk and partying. She was a party girl. YouTube videos of her going out and sloshing with the backstage correspondents and getting them sauced, and it's good stuff. She's fun. Yeah. She's wild. She parties. And if you don't know Session Moth Martina, I'd say hit up your YouTube machine, put it in there. Not only she's a really good wrestler, so watch some of her matches, but just check out. There's a lot of just her entrances, and check out her entrances. She just wants to party. That's all she wants to do.
She does such a good job at it this year. She beat out Chris Jericho to take home the Slosh Award, which is pretty insane if you ask me, seeing as the man invented champagne.
Well, you know, when you invent champagne, that's something else. Little bit of the bubbly.
Little bit of the bubbly. Plus the whole the Las Vegas episode was pretty awesome.
That was very fun indeed.
Yes.
But the only time we really got to see a drunk or messed up Chris Jericho though on screen. Otherwise he just always.
I mean, otherwise you just got to look at the weight he's been putting on.
Sometimes it looks like Chris Jericho's in there wrestling a match and he's a tag team because he's almost two people. And basically that brings us to our two-piece award for the best tag team. I don't think this would shock anybody, especially considering the recent brand new PWI tag team top 50 that just came out. But we got FTR as the best tag team this year. They're our two-piece award winners, Pasty.
Yes. Forever tantalizing radishes.
Oh, always. Always.
Love me some radishes. No, these guys were the hottest commodity for a good minute after they were released with WWE. And they picked the right place to go to with AEW. Honestly, they haven't done a whole lot.
I mean, except win the AEW Tag Team Championships.
And lose them. But, yeah, no, I'd say easily, hands down, FTR deserves best tag team of the year. Will they be next year? Time will only tell.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition in AEW for tag team, and with this pandemic seeming to maybe get a slightly bit more under control, and so many wrestling companies growing, there's only going to be more competition going forward. The former mechanics are definitely always going to be front runners, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see what can happen if with AEW Impact working together with the FTR, because Impact has they've always been really good with tag teams. You think of the tag teams that came from Impact, from the Motor City Machine Guns, Beer Money, the Young Bucks. So many tag teams have come through there that there's a lot that could happen.
So many more to come with Top Flight, the Acclaimed. There's so much to the future. I'm just looking forward to seeing any team in AEW shake it up with FTR. And I'm even more looking forward to FTR making the leap over to Japan.
That I would love to see that.
Yes.
Now that's something I would love to see.
And I think it's only a matter of time before it happens.
You know, call me a dreamer, but I'd love to see it.
Speaking of the which, we've got a new inductee into the Hall of the Dreamer with this year's Dreamer Award. For those of you who didn't listen to last year's, the Dreamer Award is just what it sounds like. No, not at all. The Dreamer Award is inspired by Tommy Dreamer for wrestlers who are washed up and just need to get the fuck out of here.
Correct.
Don't let this guy hear me say this, because he's going to kill me, okay? But I think we've watched a fair amount of wrestling this year, even with the vast buffet of choices to make. I've seen enough Ken Shamrock matches to know that it's time to hang it up, Ken. He's still got a good body, but don't fucking destroy it before you have, the rest of your life to live. Enjoy that body and get the fuck out of Impact Wrestling, please.
Yeah, he's never been the best as far as pro wrestling goes. Amazing fighter. Great fighter. Somebody I wouldn't want to fuck with or piss off. He was never a great promo. And, I think he had his best matches with The Rock, and maybe that's because he was so serious and The Rock was so animated. I'm not sure. But definitely, The Rock inducted him into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. But he's past his prime. That you think about it, he won the NWA/TNA title back in 2002. And people were calling him an old-timer then. Because you think about it, he had been in WWE since 1997. So that would have been 5 years prior. And before that, he had a lengthy UFC career. I mean, he's had full careers in multiple companies. So come on, buddy, take a page from your brother Frank and just call it a night.
I was nice to him for a lot of this year, too, even though he wasn't up to snuff with all the young talent. I gave him credit. But by the end, Shamrock, it's just hang it up. It's better to go out on top, and you're past that. So,
He's definitely not on top, but Pasty, we're going to move on to an award that talks about the top promotion in
Top
2020.
dogs.
And as we said, so many promotions made so many moves, especially considering how much we're shut down. The entire world, the entire pro wrestling community, everything. But one company
Thank
proved
God
that...
for a corrupt little state called Florida.
And one company proved that they were more than a one-hit wonder. Their sophomore year was pretty goddamn good. And to be fair, their sophomore year that they were great at was a year that most wrestling companies had some of their worst years.
Mm-hmm.
But being best of the worst is still being the best, isn't it?
It is being the best.
And the best goes to the Elite, and the Elite is in All Elite Wrestling. And for this to be a company's second year in existence, this is easily the largest wrestling company in year 2 of their existence ever in the history of pro wrestling.
You
It's
know,
huge.
Fat Mac, they definitely entertained me more this year than any other company. They didn't have a whole lot of competition.
They didn't.
Because who was down this year? New Japan was down, Ring of Honor, NWA was down and giving them talent to use.
Yep, MLW. Impact was one of the first to come back, but they were down a good chunk also. It was basically just, for a while there, it was basically just WWE and AEW.
Yeah.
And they were both, I give them credit, because they were both trying to find a way to create content in a brand new world that nobody's seen coming. Unprecedented is the word that most wrestling people use for a lot of things. This was a very unprecedented year. And I would say AEW adapted to it the best. They definitely changed. They didn't stick to what they started out wanting to become.
Mm-hmm.
And, people can dog them for that, but the truth is they had to adapt. They didn't create the wrestling business knowing that this pandemic was going to hit. So the fact that they were able to be the best promotion at a time when not only everything changed, but they really didn't have any foundation to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Impact, Ring of Honor, NWA, WWE, New Japan, they all had a foundation to stand on that was built up over years. Decades, actually, all of them, decades. Well,
yep.
Decades almost.
And here's AEW on year 2. Just chugging
Yep.
right along. And not only that, but I think you got to give credit. They made the best out of a bad situation and not only dragged themselves through this shit, but they brought the bulk of independent wrestling with them with AEW Dark. Some of these episodes, 2.5 hours long, 15,
or
16
3 hours
matches.
long.
Yeah, they really did their part, I think, to make sure the people who are going to be the future of this industry still were able to work.
If nothing else, they gave the boys a payday.
Yeah.
Even if nobody fucking watched it, they gave the boys a payday.
Uh-huh. WWE do that shit and be like, oh, exposure. Enjoy it.
WWE straight up fucking let go of 50%. Well, not 50%. A huge percentage. The largest percentage of their roster since the mid-90s. And they had the best fiscal financial year they ever had. So you can't tell me that's why they did it.
Right. But once again, you got to tip the hat to WWE for this too, because if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, Florida wouldn't have allowed wrestling to continue during the pandemic, I wouldn't think.
That is true, Pasty, and I'd almost think that would be another him putting so many folks at risk would be another reason for him for what's coming up next.
Right? Because you can't have a best promotion, Fat Mac, without a worst promotion. And baby, hands down, this one goes to you, Vince McMahon. WWE. I don't think this is the first time. I don't think it'll be the last time.
Well, and first of all, let's just be fair. there were pretty much only two companies that ran the majority of the year.
Right.
So one was going to get best and one was going to get worst. That was kind of just going to happen no matter what.